The geography of belonging. 1. The mirage of elsewhere. We are, all of us, haunted by the idea of elsewhere. The human animal can be perfectly safe and still restless. There's always some imaginary better town, better street, better air waiting for us somewhere else. And sometimes we even go. We pack up. We start over. We buy the new set of dishes. We hang the curtains. We think, this time I'll be happy. But the loneliness catches up. Because what we were trying to leave behind, ourselves, our habits, our histories, rides shotgun in the moving van. You can't outrun your own shadow. I think of all the people who move to small towns looking for peace and end up bored. Or who move to big cities looking for excitement and end up numb. The place changes, but the ache remains the same. Because what we really want isn't a new address. It's a sense of belonging. And that belonging can't be purchased, rented, or relocated. It's earned over time. It's built out of shared meals, small favors, remembered birthdays, and the quiet reassurance that someone knows where you are. 2. The gravity of familiar faces. Every good place, even the broken ones, have a kind of gravitational field. You know this when you walk into a diner and the waitress knows your order before you speak. Or when your neighbor knocks on your door to tell you your porch light burned out. These are small things, but they're everything. When people talk about leaving, what they really mean is they want to escape repetition. They want the feeling of possibility again. But possibility is expensive. It costs familiarity. It costs the subtle map of a place that you can read with your eyes closed, the shortcut through the alley, the smell of rain on that one street, the creak in your own staircase. I've lived in places that looked perfect. Postcard perfect. The kind of towns that get written about in magazines. But when I was there, nobody called my name. I didn't have a reason to go out except to go out. I'd walk through the grocery store and feel invisible. And after a while, the beauty began to rot. A view without connection is a photograph you're stuck inside. You can see the world, but it can't see you back. 3. The architecture of memory. Every house you've ever lived in still lives inside you. You could walk through the layout blindfolded. You'd know exactly how many steps from the kitchen to the couch. You'd know which door sticks in the humidity. You'd know the sound of the neighbor's dog through the wall. Places hold memory, but memory also holds place. They trade secrets. The light in your old bedroom at 3 p.m. becomes the way you remember a certain year of your life. The cracked sidewalk in front of your childhood home becomes the shape of your first sense of independence. We don't just live in locations. We live in time. And when we leave a place, we don't really leave it. It stays folded inside us. Which is why, sometimes, even if you move back to the same town years later, it's not the same. The coordinates haven't changed, but the gravity has. The people who gave the place its pulse have scattered, and without them, the streets feel like the body of someone who's died. 4. The loneliness of perfect weather. It's strange how people chase climates. I could live here, they say. The weather's perfect. But perfect weather is sterile. It doesn't test you. It doesn't teach you patience or gratitude. It doesn't remind you what warmth feels like after cold. I've always found comfort in imperfect places. In towns with too much rain, or too much wind, or too many stories about what used to be. Those are the places that need you to show up. They ask something of you. They ask you to participate in the weather, not just observe it. And maybe that's the secret. Good places don't just hold you, they involve you. They call you to fix the fence, shovel the snow, walk to the store even when it's inconvenient. They make you part of the story. The perfect place, in contrast, numbs you. It becomes a backdrop. It demands nothing, and so you give nothing in return. 5. The myth of a good place to live. Real estate agents love the phrase, a great place to live. But what they really mean is low crime, good schools, decent weather, strong property values. They never mention friendship. They never mention whether anyone will help you move a couch or drive you to the airport. A good place to live is not about amenities. It's about witnesses. Who will notice when you're gone for too long? Who will pick up the slack when you're sick? Who will bring soup without being asked? You could have a house in paradise, but if you collapse in the kitchen and nobody finds you for 2 days, that's not paradise, that's exile. We measure places by comfort, but maybe we should measure them by care. A place becomes real when people remember you there. Until then, you're just passing through. 6. The tourist's lie. Tourists are experts at illusion. They visit a town and see only its highlight reel. The farmer's market, the live music, the smiling faces on patios. They don't see the rent notices, the empty factories, the long commutes, the small humiliations of daily life. Visiting is performance. Living is maintenance. When you visit, you get the edited version. When you live there, you become part of the uncut footage. You see the cracks, the dull repetition, the awkward silences. It's like falling in love versus being married. When you visit, everything glows. When you live there, you learn the plumbing. And that's not bad, it's just real. To live somewhere is to participate in its imperfection. It's to agree, however silently, to be part of the story no one photographs. 7. The invisible infrastructure of love. Here's something most people don't think about. Love is infrastructure. Not romantic love, necessarily, though that too, but the broader kind. The kind that keeps you from disappearing. The kind that makes you text someone when you get home safe. The kind that holds neighborhoods together. We think roads and bridges keep a city running, but it's really the favors and the forgivenesses. It's the borrowed tools, the late-night phone calls, the shared worry over someone's kid. Those are the real civic systems. When those connections decay, a place collapses, no matter how shiny its skyline looks. When those connections grow, even a rough town can feel alive. It's why some rundown neighborhoods feel electric and some wealthy suburbs feel dead. Life doesn't follow money. It follows relation. 8. The weight of staying. Leaving is romantic. Staying is heroic. Anyone can romanticize escape. But to stay, to really stay, is an act of endurance. To watch the same seasons circle back. To see your reflection in shop windows that have changed hands 3 times. To keep faith with a place that's breaking your heart. That's courage. That's commitment. That's the slow work of belonging. Sometimes I think the people who never left their small towns are the bravest of all. They know every ghost by name. They carry the funerals and the birthdays in the same pocket. They show up to every graduation party because they remember when the graduate was a toddler. They live inside continuity, not novelty. And that continuity is what builds the unseen architecture of meaning. 9. The myth of fresh starts. Starting over is mostly a trick of lighting. You think you're beginning again, but you're really just changing scenery. The cast is new, the lines are improvised, but the plot, your plot, follows you. Sometimes you have to move. Life demands it. But even then, what you're really trying to find isn't new walls, it's recognition. You want to be seen again, as you were once seen before. You want the reflection that tells you, yes, you exist here. But that kind of recognition takes time, and time takes roots. You can't plant and harvest in the same season. So most people give up before the soil knows their name. They move again, and wonder why every new place starts to feel the same after a year. 10. What makes a place worth living in? In the end, it's simple. A place is worth living in if someone would miss you. That's the whole equation. The scenery can be terrible, the politics infuriating, the winters endless, but if there's someone who cares whether your light's on, that's enough. Home is not geography. It's responsibility shared. It's laughter repeated. It's the knowledge that your story overlaps with others in a way that neither of you could fully untangle even if you tried. And when that happens, the good place to live stops being a question of zip codes and starts being a question of faith. Faith that you belong somewhere, not because the streets are charming, but because they remember your footsteps. 11. The final reckoning. Everywhere is hard to live in if you're alone. Everywhere is beautiful when you're known. You could take the same body, same soul, same morning coffee, and set it down in any town in the world, and if someone there calls your name, suddenly the air changes. The street brightens. The town breathes. So when people ask me where I'd like to live, I tell them, anywhere, as long as I'm not invisible there. Because the real landscape isn't mountains or oceans or cities. It's the human faces that rise and fall like weather around you. The rest is just background noise. In the end, most places really do kind of suck to live at until they don't. Until you've stayed long enough, risked enough, given enough, that they start to belong to you. And you to them. Then even the worst place, the strip mall, the cracked sidewalk, the empty lot, starts to hum with meaning. Because meaning is not what you find. Meaning is what you build together. And if you're lucky, you'll wake up one morning and realize you don't want to move anymore. Not because you've found paradise, but because you've found your people. And that's the only kind of paradise that lasts.